Hi everyone! If you're just hearing about this for the first time, I'm happy to let you know that I'm a published author. I'm a lot of things really, but this one is very dear to my heart. After years of ghostwriting books for various clients, I started my own writing journey this year, and the official book launch was my own way of marking it on my calendar. The truth is that when I fixed the book launch early in the morning of a public holiday, I knew it was going to be something getting people out of their houses that early. But it was a very busy period for me. My birthday was the next day. I had client events back to back across multiple cities in the same week. But I had to do what I had to do. So, after over 3 months of ignoring the footage, here are some of the major clips from the launch of my travel memoir, An Escape to Paris. Enjoy!
Our second reviewer is actually a copywriter, a creative writer, and a graduate of the University of Lagos. And he's currently a sport article writer at the business front. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Demilade Oladapo. All right.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Demilade. It's a privilege to be here. So just before I read my review, and I have to add that this was impromptu. I didn't plan it, but my colleague, Catherine Okunla, who should have read a review, is not present, so I'm taking her place. So this is just a little bit of things I picked here and there, but I was privileged to beta read before the book was published, and I made some notes. But I would like to briefly talk about how I and Loretta's path aligned. I think it started 2019, right before COVID. Catherine was the writer assigned under Loretta, and we were in school together at Unilag. So she gave me an article to write, and I wrote it. Loretta had no idea where I was at this point. And when Catherine sent it to Loretta asked, who is this person? Who wrote this? And from there, I was introduced, and I started writing for Loretta. She employed me for a while, for years actually, under our company in Sino, where I was fortunate to work as a copywriter while I was still a student in Unilag. So bear with me, this is just something really brief. So An Escape to Paris is an immersive piece that carries the markers of a well-written travelogue. It fits right into a literary category I believe would resonate with the contemporary Nigerian reader, young or old, intellectual or tech-savvy. While reading, I was reminded of voices such as Pemi Aguda and Oyinkan Wright. There seems to be a cohort of female Nigerian authors of similar generation, class, and creative sensibility who write in this urbane, introspective style. What stood out to me in this dialogue? It's fluid writing, first of all. It is engaging. The author's voice takes us from one milieu in Nigeria to another abroad in France. We are transported from one mood to another, from fatigue to euphoria. There is, for instance, a feeling of renewal in the speaker upon our arrival in France, a kind of inner renaissance inspired by the city's ambience, Paris. We find that this is a sharp contrast to what the outlook was in Nigeria, where the tedium and precarity of our career was stifling. Now in Paris, the speaker senses right away upon our arrival a kind of liberation and light in the foreign region. At this point in the book, I find that the story comes most alive as it offers really grand and lyrical descriptions. Overall, I think this is a fine piece of storytelling. It is observant and emotionally layered and keeps the reader absorbed. I look forward to holding a copy, take a picture, post to at least people on my WhatsApp can see and hopefully grab a copy too. Thank you very much.
Morning, everyone. Let me first of all thank Loretta's parents for gracing this occasion. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here. And also thank those of us that are here. I know it's not always easy getting people out of their house, especially on public holiday. You know, if you're an entrepreneur like I am, you know that we hate public holidays. You know, life is just funny. When I was an employee, I used to love public holidays. But now as an entrepreneur, I hate it because it looks like I'm losing money. You know, so those of you that are here, you know, gracing this occasion, I think it's so wonderful to have you here. I did read this book, and it was interesting. Number of things that caught my attention was an escape to Paris. So typically, Paris is really where you escape to if you're, like they say, they call it the city of love, isn't it? If you're looking for some love and romance. And so she said she was writing a book and escape to Paris. I'm like, are you looking for love? No, romance. And then I realized that really wasn't what this was about. This is really about somebody searching for, you know, her purpose in life, and the experience of being where people think, you know, people think that you're successful, but you find out, you know, within yourself that, you know, that's probably not where you want to be. Because at the end of the day, as human beings, we all have our own aspirations and goals, right? So your parents sometimes think you want to be, you know, a lawyer, whereas maybe what you want to be is a baker. Her book takes you through her own personal journey in life. I read a few chapters, and already I'm thinking of making a huge change in my workplace just because of something I read. Yeah, and the chapter I read, the aspect of the book, without revealing too much about the book, that sort of caught my attention was the fact that she woke up 5 a.m. to get to work, and her dad would have to drop her off. And then because she had to resume work at 8. So imagine she had to wake up. So her journey to work actually starts 5 a.m. But from the point of view of her employer, her journey to work starts when she arrives in the office, isn't it? So to you as an employer, she started work, maybe she got to the office 8:30, and that's when she started work. And you're at work 8:30 when we're supposed to resume 8 a.m. But her journey actually started 5 a.m. And these are things that are outside of her control. So even if she had woken up 3 a.m., her dad probably can't start taking her to work at 5. And that was probably the start of her being very disgruntled with 9 to 5 and work-life balance. And it was interesting because I also passed through that journey as well. So maybe we're built for a different era. That's my own generation. Because we also woke up very early in the morning to get to work. And I think our parents passed this on to us as a chore, as something that we had to do to survive. But there's something else you said in the book. I'm not sure I can remember it clearly, the word you used. You said that you don't want to, something along the lines of you don't want to suffer to succeed for something that you really don't need to suffer to succeed for. Something along those lines. Sorry? Exactly. So you don't want to suffer to pay a price when you can actually still win that prize without suffering. Something along those lines. And I think that was poignant. So I decided, you know what, in my off workplace as well, people tend to resume 8 a.m. and close 4 p.m. And once is, you know, this Gen Z and these millennial people, once it's 5 minutes past 4, you will not see anybody again. No? They are gone. It's like wind. In my days, you cannot leave if a guy is not gone. How? You can't even say you want to. You'll be there till he tells you and pities you. You guys are still here? So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. You can go home. You can go home. Everybody will not pack. But in this era, once it's 2 minutes past 4, sometimes I've not met this. Once I just come out, is air, you know, that you made. But that's the generation we're in. But even at that, it's still very difficult for these guys to be at work very early. And so I think I'm going to change my resumption time to 9 a.m. because of this. Because at the end of the day, people do need, and that's what I also I want you guys to take away when you're reading this book and several other books. When you read books, books to me I probably have the most impact in my life. Most of the books I've read, I've always tried to pick something about the books I read and have that change my life or improve something in my life. Either I stop something that I think is not good or I start something that I think is good. And I think this book, more than anything else, has a whole lot of gems in here that I don't even think she knows that can help you, improve something about your life. And not just you alone. I think you should also look for somebody. If you're someone you're mentoring, have that person read this book as well, because you never know whose life you're impacting. So thank you all very much, and I hope that we will buy the book. Thank you.
Let me start by thanking Mr. and Mrs. Edba. I'm in my 50s, and it's still very difficult to have an opinion while my dad is sitting. As in, like, my dad says something and I'm like, no, daddy. I mean, it's difficult for me to have an opinion. So you can imagine when a girl can say her mind to her father, even as you will see in the book. And that is what has made her what she is today largely. So thank you, mommy and daddy, for your good work. Last year when she turned 30, I was saying to her that you should have a book to mark, because you deserve it. I mean, do yourself this favor. I mean, I can count the number of people she has helped, write books for and all of that. And I'm like, oh, come on. It's not just that you write books for people, you even have stories to tell. So please do this thing. So when she called me a couple of weeks back and said, oh, what do you think? I said, something that you should have done since. So I'm happy. I congratulate you that finally we have this book. I am an advocate for people to write books. I am an advocate for, and there's a lot of benefit in writing books. People say they don't read books in Nigeria, and I say it's a lie. It's a lie, because I've benefited from the fact that people read books. Like I said, I have a couple of books, and people read books in Nigeria. But even if people don't read books in Nigeria, books take us to places where you never may be. So there are various things that writing can do for you if you put your mind to it. And this is the essence of what I think Loretta has done for us today. It's, for me, an encouragement to a lot of people, who have skills. That when God gives you a gift, God expects you to use that gift to the benefit of humanity. And I think that's my greatest takeaway. I've read it, and like Ugo says, there are so many things. I was telling her that, look, you don't know how much you have done for people who will read this book. There are lessons that people will take away from it. He just gave us a practical example of a change that he has decided to make from just reading about 1 or 2 chapters of the book. And I promise you, when you read, you will see things that affect your life that you would want to reconsider, and all of that. So I guess that's where I'm going to stop it. It's just to congratulate you again and let you know that this is just the list. It's the beginning, but it's the list I personally, and I believe the world expects far much more from you. And I believe that you are going to write your own award-winning books. I like that you are very focused. Loretta will tell you she can't write fiction. I don't believe you can write fiction. But even in your non-fiction genre, I believe that there are so many things that you can accomplish. And rest assured that I wish you the best always.
I'd like to congratulate you, Ejiro. If you know Ejiro well, Ejiro is never satisfied. She's a moving target. We say she's young, but she feels she's slow, and therefore naturally pre-stresses herself to reach more heights. Ejiro is a partner to me. In all the books I've written, she's been part of it. So when she said she was launching a book, it was normal for me because really all the books I've written could also be her book. I like the way she thinks. And you will hear themes around this book, things like escaping. She likes to escape sometimes from her pressure. But what she finds out is that performance, if you are deeply desirous of performance, pressure really never leaves. One of the performance hallmark of a performer is how to manage the pressure while passing through it. In other words, that the pressure is not a stumbling block. The pressure is not a hindrance. It is part of the way to success. So I see book writing as a legacy, an inheritance of some sort that you can leave behind so that people can read and see the way you view the world and see the way you interpreted challenges. And maybe if they adopted some of those lessons, they will get past where you also get. Because you cannot reach beyond where people have reached except you stand on their shoulders and look further. So I'd like to congratulate you. It's not easy to write, but I think it comes naturally to you because you've done many, and I'm believing that your works and your writings will go far and wide and actually touch the lives of people in specific ways. You know, that those changes will come to your credit. I also look forward to some of the testimonies which you share to happen to your book and to your writing. She loves those kind of things. She loves success all the way, right? One of the things I try to encourage her is that, you know, it's difficult to succeed without loving success. And loving success is not the fear of failure, right? It's just loving success and doing what is required in your dreams, in your desires, and in your motions that pull you closer. We've learned together not to dislike what you love because you can't figure out how to get there, but to love it never the same and to move on with a lot of aggression towards it and a lot of faith and a lot of patience as well. You will get to where you want to get to. And every step you take moves you in that direction. But I must caution you that every step you take also lengthens your horizon. So what you desired as the epitome of success yesterday will not be the same today. So don't let the moving target frustrate you. It's just part of life. Okay? Just to say, guys, that life is beautiful. Let us think about life from that perspective. Let us document the stories of our life the best way we can. It might not be as perfect as Ejiro puts it in our book. But start by done 4 or 5 books since then, right? People think it comes naturally. No, someone helped push me the first time. And someone was there all the way. Different people trying to make it happen. And she's one of them. So I'll thank you very much. Your life means so much to me. It means so much to what I'm about to do in my future. Congratulations.
All right, so I recently published a book, Whispers of Purple. It is full of poetry. And today I'm just going to read one piece out of it, and we can come back to the real celebrants. All right, the title of this is Ice Cream Truck. The gentle breeze brightened our spirits. A voice of an elated child would scream, "Ice cream is here!" Nothing else mattered. Not Mama's food almost burning in the kitchen. Not the cartoon I thought was my favorite. Not even Daddy's voice telling us to stay in. Ice cream is here! For days we saved. Stacked 10 nairas in empty granite bottles. Rushed home from school to avoid temptation. And now ice cream is here. It's the joy in every lick. The dance as we skipped back home, knowing well that Mama's hand may touch our backs and Papa's shouts may touch our hearts. But at this moment, all that mattered was the ice cream in our hands. Living in the present was all and enough. Thank you.
Escape to Paris by Loretta Egba. Yeah, when I got the the ebook, I was very much amazed. The intrigue from the prologue down to chapter one, chapter two, to the last chapter. This book is not just a journey or to Paris. Paris here is symbolic, it's like a personification that shows us how life can be a form of process. At one point, it appears as if everything is just perfect, but deep within, we know there's this quest for the next position, there's this quest for the next level. So, and I wish the author Loretta Egba more books to come. This is not just a debut novel for her. I believe she has written quite a lot of other books for other people as a ghostwriter. And if you are yet to get this book, you need to get as many as you can so you can give to other people because you need to understand what an escape to Paris is. Thank you very much.
It was a very, very lovely event. The author herself is a very inspiring person, and it was evident by the rest of the speakers that came to speak. So I haven't read the book yet, but I can't wait to read it. The reviewers, the excerpt from the author herself, there's a whole lot that I can't wait to unpack and get familiar with. And I hope that, well, this is just the beginning. Loretta has so much in store, and I hope that the world gets to experience more of her. So cheers to success in the future.
This is long overdue. Thank you. We are waiting about 10 more after this. Anyway, I hope this book inspires everyone out there. You need to read A Escape to Paris. You really need to read this book. It will inspire you to do so much. It will inspire you to freedom, to audacity, to resilience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being part of this journey with me. I truly appreciate you taking time out. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. Don't take it for granted. My birthday is tomorrow and I'm not having a party, so this is the party. Amen. Amen. So yeah, thank you so much. I really want to thank my special guest. Thank you so much. We're going through it. I was about to say Mr. but I know you never said Mr. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Nero. And thank you so much to Sam. You've called me Ejiro here, so now you've confused half of the people.